Welcome in. I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything beauty, fitness, and lifestyle for the over 50 woman. Oh my gosh, I'm here today with one of my very favorite people, and I'm going to introduce you to him in just a moment. We're going to be talking about the June 2025 Boss event and kind of do a deep dive into the whole topic of mushroom coffee. And if you're new here and you don't know what the heck is a Boss event, let me fill you in. Every month here on Pretty Over 50, we feature one of the companies that I absolutely love. Smaller companies run by the owners, the founders, passionate about what they do, super high integrity, great price point, superlative customer service, just the kind of companies that we want to do business with. Let's walk away from the big corporations and support the people that come to us with a great product and a great passion for making that product the best it can be. So the Boss event is featured here on Pretty Over 50 every single month, and it's exclusive to the viewers of Pretty Over 50. It's not available anywhere else. And this month, we're very, very honored to have BIRCH Boys as the Boss event. They have just launched a brand new mushroom coffee, which we're going to be talking about today. And spoiler alert, girls, it is friggin' delicious. It is so delicious. Garrett's got the bag right there. The Boss event for June 2025 is BIRCH Boys, and the new mushroom coffee is 15% off all month long, only for the viewers of Pretty Over 50. The tinctures, which are fabulous. I hope you have your tinctures there, Garrett, because mine are downstairs. The tinctures are fabulous. If you haven't tried the tinctures, you've got to at least grab yourself one and just do a little bit. They're 35% off all month long, 35% off. This is when I stock up. And then, of course, there's always the 10% discount on the rest of the line from BIRCH Boys through Pretty Over 50. And all that is linked down below. So you can grab those discounts really, really easy. So now I want to welcome in one of my favorite business owners on the planet and just a wonderful person, Garrett Kopp. He is the founder and CEO of BIRCH Boys. Welcome in, Garrett. How are you today?
Thank you, Kimberly. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. Let's jump right in. Tell us what you do with the company and how the heck this all started.
So, sure. My name is Garrett Kopp. I'm the founder and CEO of BIRCH Boys Inc. I started this company 10 years ago. Believe it or not, this is our 10th year in business. I'm 27 years old, but I started this when I was very young because essentially it all started one day when I drank a cup of chaga from my grandmother's refrigerator on accident. And so it was one of those things where I used to mow lawns and I liked making extra money. And I did that for my grandmother, and she had just been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And so I went into her kitchen and I opened the fridge because I was thirsty, and I found this big jug of black tea in a pitcher, and it was unlabeled. And so I drank the tea because I was thirsty, and I was basically chugging a cup of chaga, but I didn't know what it was. I just thought it was an iced tea. And my grandmother came in and saw me drinking it, and she was just like, she was ecstatic. You know, her eyes lit up, and she thought it was the funniest thing that I was drinking her fungus, her chaga tea. And so she took me into the backyard, showed me where chaga was growing on her tree and how to pick it. And it was just this like really weird moment, you know, where because I saw my grandmother who had stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And then like a few weeks later, we're out chaga hunting and she's trying to knock it off the trees with her cane. And it was very inspiring, honestly, to see someone who at that age was just so excited and passionate, and it was contagious for me. And that's how I got into it. She used to knit pot holders and mittens and sell them at farmers markets. So I started going with her to sell chaga. And I share the story because I do think it's relevant. You know, the reason BIRCH Boys formed is because at the end of the day, you know, subconsciously, probably I was trying to heal my grandmother, and I knew chaga had all this healing power. And honestly, when she passed away in 2018, when I was building the business, I was pretty confused because, you know, she was doing better. You know, I didn't understand what stage 4 cancer meant then. And I also didn't understand the types of extractions required to have real medicinal value are sometimes a little bit more elaborate than just making a chaga tea. So anyway, that's really the guiding mission for us is to make genuinely quality healing products with integrity. And so that's what we do. We lease 200,000 acres of forest land. We harvest primarily wild fungi, all within a 100-mile radius of our facility. We also work with organic cultivators for the mushrooms that we can't source wild in the United States. So everything's sourced here in the United States, and we manufacture our own products by hand in our own facility.
Yeah. And, you know, I think that I almost want to repeat that. They manufacture all their own products in their own facility. And this is not, you know, 100,000 people working here. This is a small group of people that are really dedicated to what they're doing. I just got goosebumps. And I love that. I love that about your company, and I love the integrity that comes with it. So let's talk about the mushroom coffee, which is incredibly delicious. How did you even think that you wanted to go into that? Why mushroom coffee, and how is mushroom coffee different than regular coffee? Like, what's the point and purpose of mushroom coffee?
That's a great question. You know, I started seeing mushroom coffee hit the industry a long time ago.
Yeah, me too.
And really, I think that has been part of what has driven the force in bringing mushrooms into the mainstream. For a while, we didn't do a mushroom coffee just because it's a difficult thing to do with integrity. You know, in order to actually incorporate a meaningful level of mushrooms or mushroom extract and still be beneficial into a coffee and then have it actually dissolve or be in a format that works in brewing coffee is not easy, because, you know, chaga takes a long time to brew. You don't just run it through a coffee maker. So you know, it took a lot of effort for me. I always knew I wanted to do a mushroom coffee. The market was always there for it. Many mentors suggested it, but I didn't want to do it until we could do it right. And I mean, that's a complicated thing to do because we're talking about either a freeze dryer or really good evaporation equipment. I've made a vacuum chamber, a vacuum oven for evaporating the liquid extracts into powders that can then be incorporated into the ground coffee so that it dissolves when you brew it. So from a processing level, it took us a while to get to the point where we could do this the way that I've always wanted to. But it's always been on our mind.
I would imagine that the learning curve was pretty steep, because this is a completely different process than what you've done in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we sent a survey to our customers and asked, you know, if we did a mushroom coffee, what would you want it to look like? And we found pretty quickly people wanted a ground coffee over an instant coffee. There were some pretty big determinations we made really fast, just listening to our customers. We always listen to our customers. If you have feedback ever, you know, reach out to us and let us know. We also have phone support, which is pretty uncommon these days. So you can call.
No kidding.
Yeah. But basically the challenge is, like, you have to make the mushrooms into an instant form. And that's quite different than, you know, just grinding the mushrooms and putting them in a tea bag. And when I really got into this, it started with the chaga now, which we made a video about together. The process of making the chaga now is quite similar. It's actually the same thing really as what we're doing to the chaga, the lion's mane, and the turkey tail that goes into our coffee. And like essentially what that is we're brewing it and making a very potent tea. So we brew the mushrooms in water, and we brew it so potent that it actually looks more like a syrup. It's very thick. And then we literally, in low heat and in gentle temperatures, we evaporate the water away in these silicone pans, and we yield basically this film or powder that you scrape off, and it dissolves. You know, it's all the water soluble constituents of the mushrooms, and that gets blended into our coffee. And we chose an organic coffee. We did a lot of research. We tried 11 different flavors. We wanted to find the best flavor when it comes to the coffee. We also made sure it was a certified organic choice. And then we just figured out a ratio of mushrooms to coffee, or mushroom extract powder to coffee, that felt meaningful based on our own, you know, knowledge and research.
So how does your process differ from like other well-known mushroom coffees out there. And to be honest with you, Garrett, I don't even know the names of the big mushroom coffee companies.
Right.
I cannot be intelligent as far as they go. So how is your process different? I know you, one of the emails I got from you, and if you're not on Garrett's email list, you need to get on because it's always really interesting. You said that you weren't able to find the kind of mushroom coffee that you wanted. So you went ahead and made it yourself. So what's the difference between what you guys are doing and what the other brands are doing out there?
You know, to answer this, I'd love to show you like our mushroom extract powders, because basically like the way a mushroom extract powder is defined is very subjective, you know. So you'll find on the ingredients section of these mushroom coffees, you know, mushroom extract powder, 100 milligrams. But what that actually means is very open to interpretation. What it should mean is like what I had said, you know, where you're brewing a mushroom and you're concentrating it, you discard the, you know, mushroom waste material, like the actual ground mushrooms that have been brewed. You discard or compost of that, and then you evaporate the water away and yield. You basically yield roughly 20% of the input. So if we brewed 5 pounds of chaga or 5 pounds of lion's mane, and went through that process, we would end up basically pulling out 1 pound of soluble components, you know, medicinal components from the mushroom. And then we'd be left with like 4 pounds of waste that, you know, is still wet. That once it's dried, it would be 4 pounds. But the 1 pound there, we're getting like a super concentrate, you know, because we're really concentrating everything that it has down to a very small amount. And what I found as I started making these mushroom extract powders, which was really interesting, was that, you know, when I made a lion's mane extract powder, it's very basic physical properties, its color, its texture, its flavor, and its smell was totally different than any of the commercially available lion's mane extract powders. And so like, that was very weird. It was confusing to me. I was like, it almost made me think like, am I doing something wrong? You know, but over time I've learned there's just a lot of fraudulent activity and lack of integrity in any industry, really. I'm just seeing it firsthand in the mushroom industry. And so like, I would love to just show you, you know, this is a bag of the blend of our turkey tail extract powder, our chaga extract powder, and our lion's mane extract powder.
So those are all three blended together.
Correct. And what we're doing, we actually blend the liquids together, because what we find, I'll show you, the lion's mane, if you were to do it with the lion's mane alone, it gets like extremely sticky, like a tar. Let me show you that. So this is basically the result of lion's mane extract.
Oh, right? Wow.
Yeah. And so, but compare that to, you know, this is just a random brand I found online. I'm not making any claims about this brand, but compare that to what this looks like.
Oh.
And you'll see there's like, it's night and day. There's nothing similar about the two.
So
you know, it's like a tar and the other's like a.
Why is theirs powdery? Is it mixed with?
So that's a great question.
Is that the question of the day?
I've been trying to solve that riddle for years, basically. And just to show you, this is the three blended together. But what we found is like the chaga flakes so nicely when it dries. The lion's mane has sugars in it, but if you mix the chaga and the lion's mane, the chaga and the turkey tail can actually act as the caking agent, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to add any filler. But from my research, what I'm finding, and I mean, it's pretty well substantiated, a lot of companies are adding maltodextrin, which is a caking agent, which is specifically to, you know, reduce that stickiness, and also to probably, you know, get a better bang for your buck as the seller of a product. Because to actually get large yields, I mean, you're talking about a lot of energy. We're heating these, we're brewing for 3 days. There's energy costs. Then we're evaporating. There's a lot of energy costs there. You're getting a super concentrate of the mushroom. And it's really hard to believe. I mean, if you remember with the chaga now, it only takes, you know, a fifth of a teaspoon to make a full pitcher pitch black. So you'll find with this coffee, it's so black, you know.
Let me just interject, and I know we're off topic, but that chaga now, it's amazing. I love that. So why would a person want to drink mushroom coffee? Like, what are the potential health benefits of mushroom coffee or coffee that's mixed with mushroom extracts to coffee that is not?
Great question. I think it depends on the mushrooms that are in the coffee, right? Because every mushroom has a different range of benefits. Also, obviously depends if there's integrity in the process. But I mean, chaga is really great for your immune system, especially if you use it, in small amounts, but on a consistent basis. So, I mean, drinking chaga as part of your morning ritual is just going to help bolster your immune system in general and help you ward off things proactively. We obviously can't claim or imply that these can fight or cure any disease or illness.
This is not medical advice, YouTube.
Correct. I'm not a doctor. However, there's a lot of research on these mushrooms. I mean, turkey tail, which is another one of the mushrooms we use in our blend, turkey tail is being studied right now as an adjuvant therapy in an FDA-approved clinical trial at Bastyr University. And what that means is like they're studying it in combination with chemotherapy for its use potentially for anti-cancer benefits, but also to help alleviate the side effects of the chemo. So that's being studied. And I can tell you there's like our turkey tail extract powder we've sent to the lab, and we actually got a result that says it's 60% polysaccharides. And like, that's really meaningful because like polysaccharide crestin is the anti-cancer subject of interest in turkey tail. So, we know 60% of the weight of that powder is polysaccharides. Polysaccharides have a lot of benefits. Turkey tail helps with microbiome in the gut. It helps with digestion. It's anti-inflammatory. And lion's mane, of course, cognitive function, focus, memory. They've studied this on mammals, mice, and rats. They've done object recognition tests. They've done it on humans, and they show that people's test scores actually, in general cognition tests, they improve.
They do. And let me tell my story with lion's mane. Garrett said, hey, you should try this. And I'm like, all right, but don't tell me what it might do. I went in blind. And so I took it. I don't even think I took it maybe 3 weeks. And I said, it feels like the pipes in my brain have been blown out. Like my thinking was so much faster and so much crisper and clearer. That's what I noticed. And I did not look up what would the possible benefits of it be. I didn't. I went in blind. So I can tell you, if you're feeling a little fuzzy brained, give it a try. It's amazing. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, it's really just taking everything that's good about coffee, neutralizing the negative effects and really bolstering your body. It's just a great thing to do. And we were very deliberate in the milligrams of extract powder that we included in the coffee. We also have that listed on the bag, so you know exactly how many milligrams of the chaga extract, the lion's mane extract, and the turkey tail goes into the bag. A lot of people that are selling products in this space don't even disclose that information. And again, among those that do, many of them are just cut. I mean, sometimes up to 80 or 90% with filler material. And it's not just maltodextrin, it's also like sometimes they're just adding back that dry mushroom waste and they're powdering that, but that isn't even something your body can like absorb and digest. So it doesn't dissolve as well. That's not going to dissolve. It'll leave a gritty or grainy residue in your beverage. And if you've ever tried some of these mainstream products, you'll find that a lot of them are watery. They don't come out to be dark or potent, and they don't really dissolve that well either.
Yeah. I can say nothing but good things about the coffee. I'm a kind of a coffee, I want to say Nazi, but that's not a very popular word these days. I'm very picky about my morning coffee. It's the highlight of my day, my morning coffee. It is delicious. And there's no aftertaste. There's no that graininess, grittiness. And I think that it's an important thing to point out is that if you're looking for a mushroom coffee because you want those added supplemental benefits into something that you're doing every day anyway. So instead of, adding tinctures in your daily routine, you can get it right in your coffee in the morning. It's a great way to get it. And it's a real quality product. In other words, you're not getting all the fillers and all the other stuff that is not necessarily going to be of benefit to you, but it's a great way for them to claim on the packaging that there's more beneficial ingredients in there that maybe there might be. So that's the difference for me. Did I hit that on the head, Garrett? I hope I did.
Yeah. I think, and just it's shocking to me, just like some of these companies probably don't even know that that there's filler in some of their products, because you gotta understand these brands are making cost-based purchasing decisions, and so they'll look to Chinese suppliers for these products, and it's not like the FDA is going to go and audit a Chinese company and see if the products that they're selling are, actually with, they're doing that to American companies. So it's like it's kind of ironic, but I think you literally have people sometimes that are making these decisions that may not even know that the mushroom extract in their own product may not really be full mushroom. It may be, so.
Yeah. And I think that that's just a function of the difference between a smaller founder-owned company and a larger company. You just almost can't avoid it, because it's that leap between putting together something really quality and then the other side is it's got to be profitable. Profit is the number one thing. And that's why, you guys, I always try to look for smaller companies, and I just appreciate Garrett. Let's hop in next into the tinctures, because I am a huge mushroom tincture fan. They're just fabulous. The lion's mane completely changed how my brain works. I am now using the reishi tincture at night before I go to bed. If you want to sleep like, you're going to another planet, you might want to try that. And then walk us through the list of tinctures you have, because you guys, the tinctures are 35% off to the viewers of Pretty Over 50 just this month, which is a screaming deal. So kind of walk us through the different tinctures and why we might want to look at each one. What are the potential benefits?
Absolutely. So I'll just gloss over the ones we've already kind of covered the benefits of, which is chaga, turkey tail, and lion's mane. We have those three mushrooms in tincture form. And, just the reason we do tinctures, which is a water extract combined with an alcohol extract, is because there's compounds in the mushrooms that dissolve in water, but there's also other compounds that dissolve only in alcohol. And some of those compounds that dissolve in alcohol are like really medicinal. They're often diterpenes or triterpenes. If you think of CBD, that's a terpene, but the mushrooms have like 2 or 3 terpene units, which are just massive healing molecules that once they're in the body, they can literally undergo like 6 chemical reactions at once. So they're really incredible things. So that's why we do tinctures. You're getting more of a full spectrum extract out of the mushroom or herb or whatever it is. But we also do cordyceps. That's the new tincture on the block. We just came out with the cordyceps tincture. That's another product we've wanted to do for a while, but it's a difficult one to get right. We found a farm in Auburn, New York, who actually sent us great data and lab reports on the actual active ingredients, the adenosines, in some of those key actives that we're looking for. So we know the qualities there. And again, it's right, near our facility. They're really 2 hours away. So that was important to us. Cordyceps, I've been using a lot. I really have had positive results. It's a little bit personal, but like some of the benefits of cordyceps are like, it's really good for testosterone levels, libido. It's very good also for athletes and endurance and physical training. But I really found in just a very short time, the cordyceps has helped me a lot. There's also reishi. Reishi is really good, like you said, for sleep support. It also can be anti-inflammatory. It can help with anxiety. It helps oxygen absorption in the bloodstream. So, you can literally breathe easier with reishi, I'd like to say. It's great for the respiratory and circulatory system. We have artist conch, which has some really unique benefits. It's HEPA protective. Artist conch is also, it's the same genus as reishi, but artist conch is really good for pain management. It has some anti-pain effects. And then we have maitake, which is pretty good at naturally lowering blood sugar and blood pressure levels. Check with your doctor if you are on a blood sugar or blood pressure medication. It also is really good for the metabolism. A lot of women I don't know what it is, but it's a lot of women that try maitake very quickly. It will like kind of reprogram something with their metabolism. And it's not uncommon for us to get feedback that like, I lost 8 pounds in like 3 weeks. And it's like, it's ridiculous. And I'm not kidding. It's a real thing we hear.
Okay. I'm running downstairs to get my maitake.
And then I think that is everything. We have a fungi.
Well, there's the chaga tincture.
And the chaga for energy, immunity,
yeah,
and those triterpenes, the betulinic acid and the inositol. The chaga also help with like hair growth, skin cell growth.
Yeah. One thing I want to say to you guys watching, if you have not tried mushroom tinctures and you're even on the fence, I would highly recommend it. They're really powerful. And Garrett has this tincture bundle that has all the tinctures in the bundle, and you can get that. It's a great price already, and with the discount, it makes it a really, really good deal. And what you can do then is start 1 week with one of them and kind of see how it goes, and then add a second one, so then you can see how that goes. In other words, you just work your way through and keep adding them, and then you can kind of pick the ones that you want to keep going with. So it's a phenomenal deal, that tincture bundle, and it's a really cool way to be able to try all of them and find out if they're a good fit for you. The reishi is amazing for sleep. The lion's mane is amazing for clarity for me. Those are the ones that I'm really leaning into right now. I haven't tried the cordyceps, but I'm definitely going to try the maitake after you said that. Yeah.
Maitake is great. It tastes
How are you keeping up? I mean, you're a small company, you're 5 people total. How are you keeping up with all of this? I mean, that's a lot of work because you guys do everything in-house.
My team is probably watching like, we're barely. No, it's been a lot lately because we've had these new products coming out. We're also working on another project where we're upscaling right now in our facility. We're getting new equipment in. We just built a loading dock. We have this new water distillation unit, which is allowing us to make our own distilled water, which is awesome. We're investing a lot in our infrastructure. And so like we have new kettles coming in. We have a dehumidification machine that has been a nightmare that we're trying to get fixed. And, operationally there's a lot of challenges, but, with support and with purchases, our customers have always allowed us to keep making those changes and take us to that next level. And like the one thing I want to commit to everyone is like, genuinely, we will continue to try and make our products better. We love feedback. We're getting into ultrasonication. So one of the next things we're purchasing is an ultrasonicator, which is like a probe that goes into your extraction vessel. And it literally sends a sound wave of alternating high and low pressure, which rips the cell walls of the mushrooms more efficiently and just makes better liquid extracts. The tinctures are great because it's liquid and your body absorbs that very quickly. So, we want to make healing products and we do have a niche business. So our products, it's an investment in your health, but by spending the money, I think you're supporting, integrity. And I look at a lot of the products in this industry and I just see so many gimmicks, and there's so much effort trying to just sell this box of nothing and make it as sexy as possible and make as much of a return as you possibly can on that. And it's a shame, that's not how we do things. And it's hard work. It's not easy, but I wouldn't do it any other way.
Perry Lynn has a question. Would the tinctures be used separately or combine them?
You can definitely combine them. It's safe to take the tinctures together at once, but like there are real scenarios where people have like a reaction. So like, and we document all of that, but you basically, I would suggest starting with one at a time, seeing what your body reacts to, and positively, that's what I like to do. That's why we were reluctant for a while to make a combination tincture, but we do now have a fungi 5 as well. It's really up to you. Your body. If you're the type of person that can detect things really, really easily and you're sensitive, then I would suggest starting with one at a time so that you get more of a deliberate, leap into mushroom tinctures.
Okay, I just read a comment that I'm kind of surprised at. It's from Trisha Schultz. She says, ladies, the Mitake is the best. No hot flashes, excellent for hormone imbalance. What's up with that? I mean, if that's the case, that's awesome.
Yeah, Mitake it's an incredible mushroom. Trisha's actually our shipping manager, so she's watching this live. But Trisha, feel free to comment. I don't want to speak for you or put words in your mouth. We do swear by our products. I use our tinctures every day.
Wow. That's interesting. There's a lot of women that would like to have no more hot flashes. I never really had a problem with that. I mean, it wasn't a big deal for me, but I know a lot of people are really miserable with that whole thing. Interesting. All right. So where are you going for the future at Birch Boys?
Like I said, we want to create better products. So that ultrasonicator, that is something that's exciting to us. Over time, as this coffee rolls out, I would love to find a way to drive the price down, as we start to do higher volumes. I know that's an important factor for a lot of people, and we're doing our best with that. But, we always, when we come out with a product, we have to make sure that we're, meeting our costs. So that's something that we would like to do, and really just getting the word out there. I think the coffee is a product that has that sort of mainstream appeal. So we want to perfect this and get it right. And we want to continue to make more mushroom tinctures from the fungi that are medicinal, that grow wild around us, that even some of those ones that people don't know about. We've done that with artist conch, but there's other mushrooms. There's, birch polypore is a good one. There's Mishima or Felinus igniarius. That's a very powerful healing mushroom with a lot of history, but probably just doesn't have a catchy name. So I think there's a lot of opportunities for us to expand. And I mean, ultimately, we look to our customers as a guide. Let us know what you want to see from us.
So, you mentioned at the beginning that you're looking to drive the price down of the mushroom coffee, but even still, right now, your coffee is a great price point for a mushroom coffee with a much better quality ingredient list.
Yeah.
So, it's even right now, it's a great deal. If you're able to drive the price down, wonderful. Are you going to offer like a monthly subscription service for those of us who just want it sent to us every month?
We are. We literally came out with this coffee last Monday, right in conjunction with your viewers and your video. So we were kind of waiting to gauge how this goes, because it's very laborious to make the powders that go into it. So we were cautious. We didn't want to oversell and be in a situation where we were going to run out. But absolutely, we're going to offer a subscription program just like we do on our tinctures. And there will be a savings with that as well. I'd say that will probably come out probably later this month or next month.
Okay, that would be good, because I'd like it to just show up at my house without me having to think about it. You might have to hire a specific crew that just does that,
What's that? The marketing or?
No, the distilling the tinctures,
Yeah, it's well, luckily we have a great team. Ember, our production manager, does a great job with the tincture quality. And, we have the equipment, we're getting the equipment anyway, and we have the space, we have a facility, but it is a lot.
Yeah. Well, Garrett, this has been so wonderful. I appreciate you taking the time out and kind of giving us a behind the scenes look at, how Birch Boys operates. You've always just been, I guess, a pillar of integrity, and I appreciate that. And the reason that Garrett has so much integrity is because he has so much passion, and he's going to put together the very best product he can before it even goes out to the market. And that's what I love about you. So thank you for being wonderful and continuing to be wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And I just wanted to say, because I don't think we did, we have decaf as well for anyone that likes drinking coffee but does not want the caffeine. So
yeah, see, I think decaf is the devil's work.
That's funny.
But if you drink decaf, it's okay. We can feel differently about it. I just like the real stuff. Any final thoughts today, Garrett, before we wrap up?
No, just thank you so much for having us. You know, whenever we work together, we love your customer or your viewers because a lot of them remain customers of ours, and we're really grateful for that. And I'm grateful for the opportunity. And if anyone has any questions, I'll be looking at the comments in this later on and trying to reply too. So happy to help after the fact.
Tina has a question. I'm going to answer it really quick, just to not leave her hanging. She said, pretty over 50, can you tell about your chaga tea, please? I'll give you this story really quickly. I first found Birch Boys when there was a health thing that happened a few years back. Remember that? And I'm much more of a boost my immune system than run out and get, intervention. So I wanted to boost my immune system, and I was hearing about chaga. So I thought, okay, I'm going to get me some chaga because it's one of the most powerful immune modulators available on the planet. And I thought, I'm going to get me some chaga. And so I found Birch Boys just through an online search. This is a funny story. I'm going to tell the longer version of it. So I found Birch Boys. And what I did is I got the chaga chunks. Chaga comes in it's like a big, almost very light woody kind of substance. And you break it into chunks. And what I did is I would put a big pot of water on, throw some chunks in there and make a tea. And then I would keep that tea in the refrigerator. And that was what I used as the base for my coffee. So you know how you pour the water into your coffee maker? I would pour in chaga tea as the base for my coffee. It didn't affect the taste of the coffee at all. And I got all the immune boosting benefits from the chaga with my morning coffee. And let me tell you, girls, I never got sick. Not once, because I had my chaga tea. Well, what happened then is I get this email from this guy named Garrett because I did a video on it. I showed you guys how I did it, how I used it, why I was using it. And I get this email from this guy named Garrett, and he said, what did you do? What it was is that you guys watched the video and you went to Birch Boys and you got yourself some chaga chunks because you wanted your immune system to be better too. And he couldn't figure out why all of a sudden there was, a spike in visits to his website. So that's how Garrett and I met. And it was so sweet. And I loved it. And I loved the fact that he was just nice. He was just nice, and he was a real person, and he talked to me. It was just the nicest way to start a relationship. And so what I do now, I don't do that anymore because he developed that chaga now, which is, it's like, remember instant coffee from the 70s? It's like that, only you put the tiniest little amount. I put it in the bottom of my carafe or my coffee maker. And then when the coffee brews, it goes right into my coffee. Now, with the mushroom coffee, you won't have to do that because it's all in there, plus the lion's mane, plus the, what's the one?
Turkey tail and
chaga. So you won't have to do that. But what I'm saying is that there's a lot of different ways to get chaga into your routine now with Garrett. You could get the chaga chunks and make the tea. I tried making sun tea with it, and it wasn't that great. But you can put it in your coffee, or you could get the mushroom coffee, or you can do the tinctures. There's just a lot of ways. But if you're looking to really support your immune system, chaga is hands down one of my favorite ways to do it. And I'm not kidding. I never got sick, never took a test, never got sick, none of that. So definitely having a good, healthy immune system is a great way to stay out of bed and out of the hospital. So, all right. So Tina says she's not a coffee drinker. You can just get the tinctures, they're on sale this month for 35% off, which is great. So Garrett, I know you got to run. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to chat with me. And thank you so much again for doing a boss event with us for the month of June 2025. I always love working with you, and I love your company. And I just can't say enough nice things.
Thanks, Kimberly. It's been a pleasure.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. All the information on the sale is in the description box down below. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments down below, because Garrett checks back through the day and he comes in and will help you out. So if you have any questions, don't be shy. We'll take care of you. All right. Thanks everyone for joining us, Garrett. Thank you. We'll see you soon. All righty, Reverend. Bye-bye.
Bye.